Good morning, my friends, and welcome to Seize the Day. We are here to talk about you and living your best life. You know, I've spent the entire course of my adult life working with individuals all over the world on not only their health and fitness goals, but on becoming their best, the best version of them that they can be. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, is about you being the best version of you that you can be. Now, what does that mean? Well, the first thing I'm going to tell you this morning is that you're not the greatest. I'm sorry, you are not the greatest. You will never, ever, ever be the prettiest, the smartest, the most wealthy, have the most friends, the best personality, best body, best life on the planet. You just won't. You just won't be. You are not the greatest. Yep, I just told you, you're not the greatest. So what does that mean? Am I wanting you to stop listening to me now because you think I'm pretty rude? That could be the case, but that's not what I'm here to say. Listen to this and hear me out. What I mean by you are not the greatest is that's very true. There will be somebody better at you at just about everything out there. But what does that mean? That means that you are free to be perfectly you. Or as I like to say, perfectly me. So once you realize that there'll always be someone who has different gifts than you, that, you know, has gifts that you don't have, that is better at X, Y, and Z than you are, you're free to just be the best that you can be. And that, my friends, is such a feeling of freedom that it's hard to even describe or comprehend. We spend our lives comparing ourselves to other people, especially here on social media. We compare ourselves to, you know, other people's lives, other people's, appearance, other people's finances, other people's boyfriends, girlfriends, friends, experiences, and everything in between. And when we compare ourselves to others, we're often left disappointed and feeling bad about our own skin because we feel that we don't measure up. Well, once you realize that there will always be someone better looking, better personality, better finances, all these things, you are free to enhance what you have without worrying about everyone else. And this, as I said a moment ago, is pure freedom. And, you know, I looked up the meaning of freedom actually in the dictionary because it's pretty profound when you think about it. Freedom means, I'm going to read it directly, the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. Let me say that again. The power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. So once you realize that you're not the greatest, that you can only be your best you, it takes a restraint off of your heart and off of your mind that makes you feel free to be the best you that you can be. Once you stop comparing yourself to everyone else, once you stop feeling bad because you don't have her hair, her body, her whatever, his girlfriend, his life, his physique, whatever it may be, man, you know, it takes a weight off of your heart, and it really allows you to be your best and to seek what your best may be. So how do you do that? You know what I mean? Once you go, okay, I get you. I'm not the greatest. And don't be crushed by that. That's not a crushing thing. That's a freedom thing. Once you come to that realization, you say, okay, I'm going to work to not be, not be jealous of anyone or not compare my life or feel bad about myself because I don't have the same life as someone else. What do I do to enhance my own life? And that's really what it's all about. It's not about what somebody else has going on. It's about enhancing your own. Well, all the tools that you need to start this process are really already within you. And that's pretty amazing. All of us are born with very specific gifts that no one else has. We are a one-of-a-kind creature on this planet, which is pretty cool. So you have all the tools within yourself. You just have to pull them out and use them. Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing and start using your own tools to create your own life. It's already within you. No one can, give it to you. No one can buy it for you. No one can gift it to you. It's all already within you. Those tools that you need to make it happen are already within yourself. You just have to have the courage to use them, to create your own life, not anyone else's. And it's so easy to say, it's easy to say, oh, well, stop comparing yourself to others. We hear this constantly, right? But we fall back into that trap of looking on social media and seeing what looks like everyone else's amazing life while ours looks so dull in comparison, when it's really not the case. The tools you need to create your life are already within yourself. Stop looking at everyone else's toolbox. Stop looking at everyone else's gifts and realize your own. I really want you to sit down and think about what your gifts are. We all have them. You might just be pushing them back because you are spending so much time worrying about everyone else. Think about what your gifts are. Think about what you can offer. Think about what you're good at. Think about what makes you passionate. And then pull those things out of yourself to start making it happen. Part of the world we live in is not just us looking at others and comparing ourselves. It's others comparing ourselves to us. And many of you, when you start being perfectly you, and you start getting out there and you start being who you were born to be, there's going to be haters. There's going to be people that don't agree with what you do. And that's okay. I often say, when I stop having haters, I know I'm not doing something right. The second I stop being controversial or stop having someone not like what I'm doing, that means I'm not pushing hard enough to be perfectly me. The process of being perfectly you can make people uncomfortable and make people not like what you're doing. Who cares? If you are concentrating on creating your own best life, you're not going to worry about people having problems with what you're doing. You're not going to worry about the haters, because you know that making other people uncomfortable with your shine and your glow is just part of the process. So don't worry about it. Again, like I said, when I stop having haters, I'm like, I must not be doing much lately. I need to step up my game. It kind of turns into that. So realize that. If you try to better yourself and you're working on being perfectly you and you get resistance, don't let it deter you. Don't let it dim your light. Don't let it put you in a hole, because that's not what it's all about. You actually can say, I must be doing something right. Now, that being said, our biggest hater is often who? Ourselves, right? You got that little voice in your head. You think, I'm going to be perfectly me. I'm going to start utilizing my gifts. I'm going to get out there and be me and do what I need to do to create a great life. But you got that little voice in your head that's telling you can't do it. You're going to fail. You're not good enough. I call it the inner asshole. Pardon my French. But the inner asshole is who stops you from being perfectly you. Many, many times. You got to turn that voice off. And how do you do that? Well, the first step is recognizing it. You got to recognize when that self-doubt creeps in and that inner asshole starts doing this, you got to shut it down. And that takes conscious effort. It's not something that just happens just by osmosis. You have to consciously stop, talk to yourself and tell yourself, cut this out. You know the gifts are there. You know what you need to do. Start pushing, make it happen anyway. You're going to have doubts, you're going to have fears. That's part of being human. But pushing past those and getting that inner asshole out is a huge key to becoming what you were meant and born to be. I watched so many people over the years who, due to self-doubt, stop short of becoming all they were meant to be. You're going to have doubt. It's going to be there. But the trick is, for the people I've watched succeed, is they push past it. They push it out of the way and they keep going anyway, no matter how uncomfortable. And a big part of becoming perfectly you and living your best life is being uncomfortable. That sounds kind of counterintuitive, right? How can I be living my best life and be uncomfortable at the same time? They kind of go hand in hand, because to get there, you have to get outside of your comfort zone. You have to stop worrying about what other people think. You have to stop worrying about possible judgment and just be your best you. That's really the ticket and the key, is getting rid of that inner asshole, not worrying what other people think. Stop comparing your life and yourself to others so that you can really make the best of what you have and what you've been given, which is so different from anyone else. I love the fact that no matter who you are, what you are, where you've been, you have unique gifts that no one else on this planet has. How cool is that? So you just got to work on figuring out what they are. And that takes some you got to look within yourself and figure it out. A lot of times your gifts are based on, if you're passionate about something, a lot of times that means that you got something that could really go with that. You got something that could really move in that direction. So start looking at what you're passionate about. Start looking at what makes you excited and what gets your blood boiling, what gets you moving. And then work toward something maybe in that endeavor or something in that lane of life. And again, don't compare yourself to anybody else, but start really working on your gifts and goals that are based on those gifts. When your goals are based on your gifts, there's nothing stopping you. You know what I mean? When you got a goal that's based on something that you've been given from heaven above, wow, that's when you do amazing things. So, as I told you in the beginning, I hate to tell you, but you're not the greatest. You'll never be the prettiest, the youngest, well, you know what I mean. The smartest. You'll never have the most money, the most friends, the most popularity, the most whatever. There's always somebody coming along behind you that's got more of that than you. And that's okay. When you realize that, you're free. You're free because you know that all you can do is be perfectly you. You're not going to be anybody else. You're going to stop comparing yourself to people. Instead of being jealous of that girl, you're going to say, man, she's amazing. What can I learn from her to help enhance myself? That's a different way of looking at it, right? Instead of looking at that girl and saying, man, or I feel bad about myself because I'm not her. Shoot, look at her. See, man, I love how she does her hair or whatever. Wow, I'm going to give that a try. Learn from her to enhance yourself. Don't hate, don't feel bad about yourself because you're not her. Learn from it to enhance your own gifts. It's so freeing. There's such a big freedom in that realization that I can't even explain. And it's something that you have to work on. It doesn't stay with you. You always have to work on getting past those things because some of those feelings are simply part of the human existence, as I say. But if you work past them and you realize it before they come and bite you, you can keep moving forward. Don't worry about what other people think of your endeavors. You were born to be something, which is perfectly you. Don't worry if anybody else approves or makes fun of you trying. That's not important because at the end of the day, this is something I think about all the time. At the end of the day, if you're lucky enough to be 110, are you going to look back and say, you know what, I'm glad I didn't go for my goal because somebody might have laughed at me? Or are you going to say, man, I sure am happy I pushed to become the best I could be? Might not have always turned out the way I wanted it to, but oftentimes when we push toward a goal that maybe not be exactly right, the right one is right over here and leads you in its way. So everyone, I want you this week to remember you are perfectly me. When you look at others, when you look at social media, when you're out in the world, remember you can only be the best you that you can be, and striving toward that every day is how you get there. All right, guys, seize the day, be you, and have a great week.